Okay, I will start again. Hello, and thank you for joining Cochl's webinar. I'm Minso and working as a developer relations manager at Cochl. Today, we are excited to share some valuable tips on how to leverage CochlSense and IoT devices, specifically focusing on the post-action function. To guide us through this informative session, we have Subin here who will introduce CochlSense and demonstrate its capabilities live. We encourage active participation from all attendees as we value your engagement and want to address any queries you may have. Towards the end of the webinar, we will have a dedicated Q&A session where you can ask questions related to our product or its functionality. Please feel free to leave a comment during the webinar and we will do our best to address your inquiries. So let's warmly welcome Subin as we kickstart this enlightening webinar.
Um, Hi, my name is Subin. So thank you so much, Minso, for introducing me. And hello, everybody. And I very appreciated your participation in this webinar. My name is Subin Lee, and I'm CEO and co-founder at the Coco. Let's begin by the reading through the purpose of this webinar first together, and I explain what we are aiming to convey to you all. So today I would like to introduce five main parts for the purpose of this webinar. It's going to be very easy and it's going to be uh, the, the very useful. And first, for those unfamiliar with us, I will briefly introduce who we are and what we do and what I want to introduce through this webinar. And specifically, what Sounds AI is, and what kind of AI platform CochlSense is. And anyways, of the brief explanation about ourselves, it is the first part. And then I will explain the key feature of the CochlSense Dashboard, the core part of today's webinar. And and the newly launched the function called the post action, and why the post action needed, and the show how to use them through the live demonstration step will be the third part, and the fourth part, using the CochlSense API and the SDK. And for the last step of this webinar, we will have the Q&A session at the end of the webinar. So please save keep your the question until then. And I'll yeah. So what does Coco? I mean, the host of this webinar do as our startup is with just the research based startup, the creating the next generation sound AI to make computer the perceive sounds like the human. That is the simple purpose of the creating this startup. So the CochlSense, a sound AI platform created with the perfectly in-house resources of the Cochl, is the AI platform that recognizes number of information and sounds, and such as ambient sound and analyzing music and the speech and the number of things from the speech is going to be the emotional detection, some depression detection, sort of it. And yeah, so our system is kind of simple and easy to use. When I have to briefly explain about this one, and when the unknown sounds comes in toward the system, the CochlSense analyze what kind of sound it is, for example, it is cough and it is a fire alarm, and it was gunshot or something, and the where it came from, when it happened, and which direction is coming from, and that is how the system works. And some example included like the cough and the gunshot, as I explained, the machine, the bark, scream. Just we covered just so many kinds of the sound categories right now. And if you listen the use cases more, it's gonna be the much more easy to understand what we are doing. and I mean the we have the several ones. And first of all, I would like to introduce the public safety things. And public safety is the most common cases, and the CochlSense encounters like the faster response to the shooting incident, and detect some vandalism like the someone is breaking the glasses, and the violence prevention by the scream and yell monitoring. And also, the CochlSense can monitor some traffic information like the car accident and illegal car honing noise monitoring. And for the autonomous drive, and CochlSense can be and the good and the supplementary option for for supporting some autonomous driving, like when siren the sounds detected, and we can make some the smart cars the giving away and the pull over the action. And also in the the specific market these days, and the detecting some car window breaking is kind of serious, and also it is possible through our CochlSense. And for another the use cases, the machine anomaly, definitely this one is the the top market and big market. That we really want to go into and the cover, and so like the CochlSense can detect some automatic the machine failure detection, and also so for measuring so quality control when the smart factory the construct something, and quantitative the measurement of the operating noise of the product can be the things we can analyze. And also CochlSense covering the music streaming things as well, like the audio fingerprinting and the music recommendation by content analysis is the function the CochlSense is supporting right now. And the defense industry also, the CochlSense will be in. And for example, like the smart glasses with the gunshot analysis and the submarine analysis, and those kind of the topics can be covered by the sound analytic function. Yeah, so maybe the CochlSense outperform IT giants. So anyways, all of you guys know, so the most important thing is just about the performance things, right? And with the poor the performance, we cannot do anything, right? And CochlSense outperformed the IT giants like the Apple and the Amazon and the Google in sound recognition performance, and supports the most type of the sounds compared to the competitor. So I know our competitor is just a big company, but the above all, the big I really strongly believe the biggest strength of the CochlSense is that is the openly supported in the form of APIs and the SDK. And CochlSense is currently the only option for using the sound recognition through the API and the SDK. So yeah, so we are getting closer to the core, some experience of sound AI through the CochlSense API and SDK version 3. That this one is our the core to use. And from the docs Cochl.ai, everyone can check the resources and the documentation for using the API. Uh, but obviously, I really want to stress out the Coco is the world first and the only sound AI option with the public API SDK. And for the API, we support the REST API, and the file and stream mode is supported. And everyone can do some API calls with the audio files. And stream mode is for the analyzing the audio data in the real time. And also the latency of that is the below the 200 the milliseconds is quite fast. And the CochlSense SDK right now our version is the 1.2, and the language and we cover and we support the C++ and the Python and the Android client, and also supported architecture the x86, AARChy, the 64, ARMv7. We cover and we cover so many kinds of the edge devices like the Raspberry Pi or something. Yes, and another. the important point is about how many sounds we are supporting right now. And right now we are supporting those 37 sounds right now through the public one, and like the car horn and siren and the alarm, some glass breaking or gunshot is the sound categories that the many clients is the demanding right now. Most of it is just about the emergency detection. And however, and the next week, the largest the deep learning model update of the past 1 year await you. And we plan to update our the API and the SDK with a model that has the significantly the increased support from the 37 sound categories to the 103 sounds. And it's going to be the really big jump to us. And with this the expansion to over 100 sound categories with the 9 predefined services like the vehicle and the home context, alarm, and the human things, and the animal, music, and the emergency, and the will be supported, which means a broader the sound recognition, the feature support, and a wider the application of the CochlSense across the various industries is highly anticipated, we believe. So yeah, so the next I would like to introduce the CochlSense dashboard, and the real core part I really want to introduce through this webinar. And so the CochlSense dashboard support, the CochlSense API and the SDK, and this web, the dashboard to support the key management and the billing system and the project management to make it easier to use our the API and the SDK. And it can be accessed through the following URL, the dashboard.coco.ai. Everyone can use it, and it is open to everybody. And today's webinar, and I will focus on how to use and manage our the API and SDK project and through this dashboard and what the sub function inside of it. First of all, when the clients landed our the dashboard, the first step is about the creating your project, right? And the creating the API and the SDK project is through it. And anyway, so this step I will show you later how to do this. I can skip it, but the another characteristic I want to say is supporting all sounds for the public API, and the SDK can select the text you want because the I will introduce about why it is because the cost will be increased by the number of text for the SDK. Second thing is the we support the drag and drop features, and this feature is the easiest way to use our the API for the non-developer. And you can see the sound AI features by dragging and dropping the audio files in the format of the WAV and the MP3 and the OGG format. And it is a really, really easy step to do this. And when you're a user, click the drag the audio into our system, and as you see this the slides and the detected logs gonna be the displayed, and everyone can the playback, and the which part is the identified something. And dashboard analytics is also will be very, very interesting. And each the API SDK project created this way can be built in the analytics pages, and this function is very useful. And when it is difficult to check the status of the edge devices using the API and the SDK in the real time, and you guys can check and how many the sound categories it detected, and later, yeah, through this one. And the recently the dashboard started and supporting the post action, the newly featured function called the post actions. And through the major update, this is the key feature to be introduced in the webinar, and which takes a follow-up action when a sound tag is detected in the API and the SDK client side. And we currently support the webhook and the email notification and the features, and I will show you how to use them in the live demonstration part. And that one is for the the post for the alarming and the notification purpose. Also, the dashboard, our the CochlSense support and managing the CochlSense more the conveniently in the mobile environment with the application named the CochlSense Notification app, and we support iOS and Android both right now. So, and why is the post action feature is so important? And maybe it's the the core part, and I really want to stress out through this webinar. And the motivation can be found in the integration purpose of the security camera and the VMS. And if you're very familiar with the the security camera and the physical the security the sector and how it works with the security camera and the VMS and so easily, but the great value the of the CochlSense lies in the monitoring sounds coming from the surrounding in the real time, and providing insights to the user in the real time is so important to us because it should be the the monitoring purpose, and it should be the the almost real time. That's the reason why we have to make some the perfect value chain. And this leads to the the needs for the the server side, the collecting and collecting the video and the audio stream and the store it and the analyze the the stream coming from the multiple the edge devices. In this case, it's going to be the the cameras and some the installed in the specific location, right? And finally, the last step of the this kind of the value chain is going to be to perform the specific task with the incorporation of the AI technology and the communicate any relevant information to the client. That is the key factor. So, the perfect value chain for the CochlSense dashboards are going to be like that. And when in the real world side, and when the sounds is generated, and the edge devices will detect it, and the pushing the metadata, the metric to the dashboard in the cloud, and our dashboard cloud side is going to be the giving a the event and the alarm to the client, the computer, and the mobile, and then the the this is going to be the perfect circle, the perfect value chain we really want to the construct. The last part about the explanation of the CochlSense and the API is going to be the pricing. And we have the three option as the being in the member of our dashboard. Everyone, the if the client initially or the be into our member of the CochlSense dashboard, everyone gonna be the free, and the free user gonna get 20 minutes free trial, the API, and the no needed code required, and but the ticket supported gonna be followed. But if you the register your the credit card, and we you guys can experience more wider range of those applications like post action and analytics, right? And the APIs, the price is gonna be the 0.012 dollar the minute, the per minute on for the API. And if you want to use our the SDK, and we support our the potential SDK user with the enterprise custom enterprise enterprise client, and we also support the 14 days free trial and the Edge SDK when you the make the contract NDA contract with us. And the new sounds category inquiry also will be in the our support coverage. And also, but the SDK and the purchase is gonna be the under the B2B the contract. And the please feel free to ask anything about the using the SDK to us. So, and this one is the the most interesting part, and I really want to do some live demo session together. And maybe I guess two part. I really wanted to cover the two part of the two part of the live demonstration. And the one is for the how to use the API, and the other one is the how to use the SDK. And let's start from the how to use the API. When you look into the docs pages, and everyone can see the the sample as well with the Java and the JavaScript and the Python, and how to use for the file mode, and how to use the microphone mode. Microphone mode means the streaming mode. And I guess at this time I will do some the live demonstration with just only the file mode for the API. Okay, and let's move on to the how to log in the dashboard as the first step. And you log in to our system. Oh no. Oh, okay, I need to log in again for this one. Um, maybe. Yeah, I logged in, and in the CochlSense part, when you click it, and and then you will land it this pages, and means the project the page is going to be the first pages every the client will land it. And for creating the projects, going to be the first step. Do at this time, I will uh, make the API project, and type the project name and click the created. Then and you guys can see the new project is generated. And yeah, so when you go into the I already made the the API project and the SDK project for this the demonstration. And the first step I really want to show you is about how to use the drag and drop. It's quite easy. I can show you. And when you drag your file on here and estimate it, the price, the cost to be charged is going to be the calculated in this tab. And when you click the start analyzing, it's going to be the really instant, things. And let's go to the another example. And I drag and drop for the containing the knocking sound like this. And right over here, you can see the the knocking sound is detected, and also you can play back. And also you can port it as the JSON format as like that. You can download it as well. It is quite easy to use. And also you can check the upload history and the view JSON again after after closing the session. And when you go to the analytics pages, and you guys can see, and in the analytics pages, and knocking sound and the glass breaking sound is you can see the the previous detected widget from here. And also when you click it, and you can check the the content type and the the method and the the which IO type you did. And yeah, so next part is the using how to use the SDK. No, no, no. I mean I will show you again about how to use the file mode for the API to call. And in docs page, you guys can just scratch it, files code snippets. I will do it with the Python. And in this part, you have to put the API keys in here, And for the API keys, you guys can copy and paste in here for the project key as the API key and paste it. And specify the file name. I will do with this one with the screaming mode. And when you do it, Python and file.com. And you guys can see the the scream is detected in here. And also, this part is gonna be on the first part. The specific one is for the file. The Python snippets is gonna be we uploaded the file per the 1 MB chunks each, and getting you guys can read the inference results in the real time, even if the uploaded file is too big. And generally the Google's speech API recognition API and the general the audio recognition the API just support the not over the 4 MB, and we covered all of this. We covered until the few like over the 1 hours of audio file theoretically, and the another character strength point our the API. And then let's move on to the how to use the SDK. Um, First of all, I have to log into the SDK, and as you guys see it in this screen, and I set it up as the live demonstration for the how to use showing the how to use the SDK. And I installed our the SDK in here. I'm right here, and the Raspberry Pi 3, and connected the function connected our the SDK to the smart light bulb called the Philips Hue, and this one is a microphone, and I can show you how our SDK and the detected result can be connected with the IoT devices. So I have to turn on our turn our SDK on right here, and I started to the and let's move on to the dashboard side again. And when you create a new project, well, for the Edge SDK, you have to select the project type for the Edge SDK, and let's name the project name. And the different thing with the creating the API and SDK project compared to the API projects is going to be you have to select the sound tag. And when you click it, and you guys can create the project. And let's move on to the inside of the project pages. And I really want to introduce how to use the pause section. Everyone knows about how to use the analytics of what it is. In Edge SDK tab, you guys can check the which devices is the registered in these pages. And also, yeah. So when you move on to the post action tab, as I explained through the slides, we support the two option for the post action. The one option is for the setting up as the webhooks, and you click the add webhook. You guys can the post URL in here, and you can select the sound event in here. And also you guys can select the interval of the action of each sound category. Before starting this session, I predefined three action, and based on the IFTTT, and one is for the change the color of the Philips hue, and the other one is for the turning on the Philips Hue and the turning off the Philips Hue. And I will show you how to do this. And when you go back to the the setting up webhook setting up pages, you guys can check turn off the Philips Hue for the cough, turn on the hue for knock, and change the color for whistle. And yeah, and also for the email, you guys can select the text selection and putting the the assigning email address and the setting up so email interval at the minimum length of the interval gonna be the 60 seconds. So let's move. Yeah, so SDK is running right now, and I can start it over. And when I knock it, and the knocking is detected, and you guys can see, the in Philips turn the Philips hues on. When I whistle like that, the color of the the Philips hue is going to be the change it like that. It's a quite fast and instant response. And if you want to turn off the Philips hue, and you guys can do some cough and turn it off like that. It's quite fast and easy to use. And I stop the SDK again, and I show you when we go to analytics pages for the 15 seconds and speeches, and the speeches means the maze speech and the cough detected, and the whistle is also detected through here. And when you go to the you guys remember we set it up and the getting some email notification as well, right? And some analyzer report arrived here 3 minutes ago, and the latest one is the 1 minute ago. Like that, you guys can get reported, the how many sound categories detected as the summary version, and also will be the another post action function of the dashboard. Yeah. So my live demonstration part is over. I really want to show one slide before the closing my speech. And in addition to the general CochlSense API and SDK I explained today, and we have the several product, and beside of that, and Coco also offers a variety of the product can be integrated into the many kinds of the product line. We also have the camera plugins and the BMS plugin supporting the Access and HANA Vision, and also can be the integrated with the BMS like the network optics and the milestone as well. And also the recently we started to the make the productization for the anomaly detection as the AI box format, and also it's going to be the good and solution for the the in smart factory situation. Also, it's going to be the solver as well, and also the you guys our client can we can support to the train the custom anomaly sounds from the logic trained model. So yeah, my session is over, and thank you for listening all of these things, and maybe anything. We are very open to discuss any kinds of things related to audio detection things, right? And yeah, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Subin, for sharing your useful insights to us via our webinar. And if there is any questions or inquiries regarding this webinar, feel free to let us know via the YouTube channel or the live chatting. And if there is anything you want to ask, we will kindly answer for your questions. Thank you for the claps. And it seems like there is no questions regarding the webinar because of your explanation is so good and easy to understand. And with really thank you for your time and endeavor to deliver some awesome news regarding the how to use the CochlSense and IoT devices with post action. So let's move to the outro of this webinar. So thank you for joining today's webinar, and we hope that this webinar has provided you with a deep understanding of CochlSense and how to use it effectively. We will be conducting webinars regularly, so if there is any specific topic you'd like us to cover in more detail, we are always eager to hear from you. If you missed any part of today's webinar or would like to rewatch it, you can find the recording on our YouTube channel after the live streaming. We look forward to seeing you in our next webinar. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye.